Hey everyone, welcome again on Devish Tech channel. And let me clear out a topic of this video. The topic of this video is how we can use a CSV or Excel file to put it on a MongoDB database. Actually, suppose we have a CSV or Excel file and we wanted to use those data to put on a MongoDB database with help of the Node.js or Express.js, how we will do that, okay? So in this video, we are going to create a API endpoint, okay? And this is a topic of the video and how it will connect with our Mintra app series, okay? So in the last video, what we did, we created a card, okay? This card, and we have a couple of things. We have image URL, we have name, description, actual price, and all those details we have, okay? And right now, we need to fetch this data from the backend, okay, and show it this card dynamically, okay. This is how it will connecting to this topic, okay. So what we will do, we will going to create an API endpoint, and in API endpoint we'll give a user to upload a CSV or Excel file, and we will process that CSV and Excel file data and insert those data in a MongoDB database, okay. Actually this work will done by the admins, okay. That's why every e-commerce app have their admin panel, okay. So from the admin panel, admin upload all the product details via the Excel sheet and all and put it on a database, and our app, this app will hit a endpoint, okay, and consume those data in the app. So admin are the creator of the all the data, and the app is kind of use those data to show it on a UI, okay. That's why we have a separate admin panel and we have a separate app, okay. So the API right now I'm going to create is useful for the admin panel. Right now we haven't created an admin panel yet, but in future when we will create, we will use those endpoint on admin panel. So let's create a upload all product detail API, okay, and later point of time we will going to create a get all product detail endpoint and we will consume it here, okay. So let's work on that. The first thing we will need to do is we need to create a CSV file for that, okay. And before we will start our video, please don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the video and share the video to your friend. It will highly motivate me, okay. We already did setup of our Node.js part. We have created a login endpoint earlier, and now this is the time to work on the post all product details API, okay. For that, let's use a CSV file. Actually I have created a CSV file just for the demo, okay. And what are the things we have, so these are the header of the CSV file or Excel file right now, and actually these are really important because once we will use some tool which will convert our JSON file to the, to convert this CSV file to the JSON, so it will become a JSON object like this. It will become a JSON object which have a name and their corresponding suppose like how it will be converted, okay. I'm just giving you an example. So we have a list of headers over there, right? Name, desk, okay. So once we will convert those data from the CSV to the JSON, it will look like this. It will create a set of array in a JSON format, okay. And all the header which we had here, which will going to assign the corresponding value. So each of the row will become each object, okay. So one row will become one object and second row will become second object, okay. So this is the way it will convert this CSV file into the array of object, JSON object format, okay. So I will show you this thing in detail, but let me tell you that why we have so many columns here, okay. Why we have so many columns here. So whenever we will design an API, we need to think about the requirement first, okay. So what are the requirements we have? We need data to show it on a UI. And what are the data we will need? We need an image URL, we will need name, we will need description, actual price, discounted price, all those details we will need. That's why those data need to be present in a backend. Okay, that's why I have added a name, that is a header right now. I have added a description, wish list, which will be corresponding to this thing. Okay, initially it will be false or undefined. Okay, actual price, and we have a discounted price. Also we have a discount like 60% off. Okay, along with that we have a category. Suppose if you open a Myntra, in a Myntra you will find we have many categories, like we have men, women, kid, home. Those are the categories. Okay, and apart from the categories we have a subcategories as well. Like in the main section or women section you will find we have a subcategories like top wear, bottom wear, or footwear. Okay, similarly in a subcategories we have again categories, again something called t-shirt, formal shirt, or something like this. Along with that we have a genre. Okay, and in the genre what we have, like some, you can say that it is a new product or a classic product or something. Okay, along with that we also have a brand details, like it is a Adidas or a Reebok brand. Okay, similarly we need to show this image. Okay, as of now I have hard coded this image as a 1 and 2, but yeah, later point of time we will use the actual image. Okay, ratings, like we have a rating over here, and we have a number of review, how many people gave a review yet. Okay, so these are the data we will need to consume in our UI. That's why I have created those field here. Okay, so this is a overall explanation. Okay, but how we will use a endpoint, how we will create that endpoint, let's do that. Okay, so first thing first, whenever you will create Excel file, just try to download it as a CSV. Okay, so let me download it. Where is the download button? Okay, so I'm going to download it as a CSV file. Okay, so this is my product details CSV file, and I will put on a desktop. Okay, so it is in a desktop as of now, the product detail CSV file. Now let's create a API endpoint to consume that CSV file. Okay, so as of now, if you will see that package.json file, we already installed a multer at the time of setting up this project, right? And this multer will help us to consume the CSV file. And how it will do, we will just give me a time. Okay, so the first thing, like we have a setup, we have a routes folder. Similarly, I'm going to create a new file, product details dot routes. So here I'm going to create all the routes related to the products detail page. Okay, so as we first had to import the express.js, then we had to router. So let's just do the copy and paste over here. So the first step is copy and paste all the import. Second thing, let's use a router dot post or router dot route. Upload all. Suppose this will be API endpoint name. I'm going to use a post. Okay, similarly router dot route name, then the post will be HTTP protocol, and every HTTP protocol will have to take a callback. So let's take a callback. It will be response, request first, then response. Okay, so in the request we will get all the data which we will send at a time hitting the endpoint, and the response what we wanted to send from our backend. Okay, so as of now let's send response.json. Okay, and at the last, what we need to do, we need to just export our router. So let's export it. So this is the endpoint we will going to use for uploading all the CSV file. Okay, once we will create a route, we need to just import that route in index.js file. So let's try to import that thing. Const product details routes, will use require and dot slash routes slash product detail dot routes. Also we need to use app.use and we need to route it to the product detail page, product details routes. Okay, and let's see that it's working fine or not. For that, what we will do, we will use a postman, and in the postman I'm going to create a post. Okay, right now we are working on a http colon slash localhost colon 5000 port, and where we are routing to the product details. Okay, so this is our route, and slash, what is our actual route? It is update all. Okay, so it's a post call, right? And as of now, if we do not send any kind of data, so let me say use it as a product details and save it. If I will hit the send, then it is saying okay, which is everything is working fine. What about at the time of sending a CSV file? Okay, if I will send a CSV file, what we need to do, we need to go on a body, we need to select a form data just for the testing. Let's use a CSV file as a key. Okay, and here we're going to create an option for file, and let's select our file which we downloaded from the Google. So if I will hit the send, then nothing will come here, right? Because to consume a CSV file or any kind of files, first we need to import a multer. So let's import a multer from multer package. Okay, so we have imported a multer. Okay, and multer package we're going to create a instance of the multer package. Okay, and actually the multer package will take list of parameter. It will take a storage. Okay, and for that, what we need to do, we need to create a storage. Actually the storage is a configuration for the multer, because we wanted to access the CSV file which we are getting from the front end. Okay, to handle that thing we have to use a multer package, and we need some kind of configuration. What are the configuration we need is, we need to know that where we wanted to store that the file which we are getting from the front end, and what will be the file name. So multer will do this thing for us. Okay, so multer.disk storage is a function, and it will going to take a object. Okay, so let's do it one by one. Okay, so what it will take, it have a two parameter. The first parameter is the destination. Okay, which means where we wanted to store the file which we are getting from the front end. Okay, so it will take a method. Okay, and basically it will going to have three things. It will going to have a request, the request we are getting here. It will going to have a file, the file which we are getting, and the third thing we're going to have is the callback. Okay, so the callback we wanted to perform. Okay, so here what we will do, we're going to call the callback. Okay, and let's provide the destination where we wanted to store. Okay, the first thing I'm providing a null. Okay, and let's provide a destination where we wanted to store that particular file which we are getting from the front end. Okay, for that I'm going to create a new folder in the root directory only, that is uploads folder. Okay, and I'm going to provide the path over here. It will be /uploads. Okay, and apart from the destination, we need to provide the file name. And what will be the file name? It will also going to take a same kind of callback method. So I'm just going to copy it, and it will take request file and cb. And what will be the file name we have to provide over here? So the file name will going to be the same file which we are getting. Okay, so we have provided a destination and the file name. It will be like file.original name. I wanted to consume the original name, so file.original name. Okay, so we have created the storage instance, and now we can use it over here. Okay, so now we got the multer instance called upload, and it's kind of middleware. Okay, so before actually processing the request, we have to use this middleware. Okay, and access the file which we are uploading from the front end. As of now, we are uploading from the Postman, but in later part we will going to use this API on our admin panel. Okay, so here we are using the middleware which is provided by the multer, the instance provided by the multer. Okay, upload.single, only we wanted to access the first file. If we send a multiple file on our Postman, then we just wanted to access the first file. That's why I'm allowing user to send a single file. Okay, and how we will access it? We have to use this key, the key which we are using over here. Okay, with help of that we will going to access it. Okay, so if I will hit the save, okay, and if I will click on a send, and let's go on upload, the upload folder got the file, the product detail file which we uploaded from the Postman. Okay, so this is the way that we can use a multer to upload some file from the front end to our backend. Okay, so we created a multer storage instance, okay, which will help us to access the disk. Okay, and we created an instance of the multer and use this upload.single and use the key which we wanted to, in which we wanted to send our Excel file, and we got it over here. Okay, now as we are sending a data from the back end, from the front end in a CSV format, so how we will consume it? Okay, how we will tell our MongoDB that convert this CSV data into the JSON format. Actually, the data which we will store in a MongoDB should be in a JSON format. Okay, it store the data in a JSON format. Okay, the MongoDB store the data in a JSON format. That's why what we need to do, we will going to need a package. That package will convert the CSV data into the JSON format. Okay, so actually I already have this thing. This is a CSV to JSON converter package. We need to install this package. Okay, and let's install it. So it will take some time to install it. Till that, let's import that package. And to import it, I'm going to use this. Okay, let's use a CSV, and actually it gives us information that how we will use it. I'm going to use this cons JSON array. Okay, so let's use it in our API endpoint only. So this is a API endpoint, and I'm using a await here. That's why I need to make our callback method as a sync function, and JSON array where we will get our data. Okay, I will try to console log, or I will just try to send it to the front end only, the JSON array which we are converting here. Right now we are not storing in a MongoDB. Okay, and how we will get the path of the file using the request.file.path, because we already specified everything with help of multer, then we got the file and the actual path detail. Okay, so this is a CSV to JSON package, and we use over here. Okay, from file it will take a file. I mean in the file we got the actual part which we stored the CSV file. Okay, so with help of request.file.path we will get the actual part of this CSV file. Okay, and it will convert the CSV file into the JSON array. Okay, and let's see it, everything is working fine or not. So it is working fine. You can see that it converted our CSV data into the JSON object. Okay, so these are the data which we already entered, we got here. Okay, and now what we can do is we can simply insert this data in our MongoDB database. Okay, now it is in a JSON format, so we will simply insert all the data in a MongoDB database. For that, if I will go here and in MongoDB database, you will find that we already have a MintraDB database, and in the database as of now we have a two collection. First thing is the MintraDB, second thing is user. Okay, now let's create another collection over here. Okay, collection is a table, you already know. For that, whenever we will create a collection, first thing is we need to create a schema for that collection. Okay, so I'm going to create a new schema, product details dot model.js. Okay, so first thing first, we need to import a mongoose. Mongoose will help us to interact our JavaScript code to the MongoDB code. Okay, so we have created this mongoose, and let's create a schema for that. And for that, what we need to do, we need to const product details schema. We'll take an object just like we did here. Okay, and in the object we need to provide all the keys. And what are the keys? So let me just copy this thing, because these are the actual keys, I mean actual field which we will use to store in our MongoDB database. So let me provide this schema. So in the schema we need name, disk, all this thing. Okay, and actually when we define a schema we provide this thing over there. So what I will do, let me provide everything here. Okay, so the type of this name will going to be string only. It will be a required parameter, it will not be a unique. Okay, but yeah, rest of the thing will need the same kind of schema declaration. Okay, so let me just declare it. Okay, so description was the string, but wish list will going to be a boolean. Okay, boolean. Okay, and it will going to be a string again. It will not be a required. Okay, so don't worry, because wish list can be null or empty. Actual price will going to be required, discounted price will going to required, discount will also going to be required, category is also must. This all are the strings. Subcategories also required, t-shirt is also required. So whenever I am specifying the required, if I will not provide at the time of adding this thing in our database, then it will going to throw an error. So I'm kind of adding a error check over here. That's why I'm adding a required. All of this thing will going to required. Even the image URL will going to be required. Rating will going to be required. Okay, let's forget about the rating. I mean, let's not put rating as a required. Also, let's not put number of review as a required. Okay, so now we defined our schema. Okay, so what we will do at the last, we have to export this schema. And okay, let's export this thing. let's use this product details here. Okay, and let's use it. Similarly, we use this user details in our login page. We have to import this product details schema in our product details page as well, I mean on the route as well. So what I will do, I will use const product detail require dot slash then I have to go on a models, then we have to import the product details. Now we got the schema, also we got the JSON array. Then what we need to do is we need to use the schema which we imported over here. It is a Mongoose schema. That's why when I will use this thing and I will do the insert many, then it will insert all the JSON data which we just converted from the CSV. Okay, so I'm using the insert many command of the MongoDB with help of the Mongoose ORM or ORD you can say. So here the first thing you need to provide is the number of object you wanted to insert. So the number of object we wanted to insert is the JSON array which we are getting. So it is a kind of a array of object. Okay, so we don't need to do any kind of format over here. We can simply pass it over here, and the second parameter will going to be a callback method. So this callback will get a two parameter. The first parameter is the error and second parameter is the result. At the time of inserting this data in a MongoDB database, if we get any error, then we will get this error object, otherwise it will be undefined. So let's handle our error case. If we get any error, then I wanted to throw error. So let me just return a response dot status with the 500 that we got internal server error with some JSON data like error and the error which we are getting. Okay, or let's simply throw the error. And if we don't get any error, then I will simply want to return a response.json added successfully. Okay, so now let's try and hit this thing and see it is working fine or not. Remember, we don't have a product detail collection yet. Let's try it out and let's hit it and see the result. So at the time of it, we are getting an error that validation is failed. Okay, value type string. Okay, so the false which we wanted to send actually are wrong. Okay, so actually the false we specified is kind of a string. Okay, so that's why the adding a validation is a very good thing. Okay, so what we can do, let's just for the testing, let's change the type to the string because this video is already long and I don't want it to waste another time to change this thing and download it again. Okay, so I have changed the type of the wish list. Now it should work. Okay, so let me just click on a send and I got a error. I got a message added successfully. And if I will go on a MongoDB and if I will try to refresh the MongoDB cloud, okay, and see the collection. So this is our product details, and let's see in the product details what we got. We got two data over here. The first thing is the tsert x and the second thing is the cert x, which means the data is now added on our MongoDB database. Okay, which means the purpose of this video is completed. We are successfully able to upload data from the CSV to the MongoDB database with help of the Node.js. Okay, so in the next video, let's try to access this data. Let's create a get endpoint for this data. Okay, so let's see that thing in the next video. Till that, please don't forget to subscribe the channel. like the video and share the video to your friend. It will highly motivate me.